Dr. Samantha Miller stood at the wide viewport of the hospital ship *Mercy*, gazing at the stars. The massive white vessel glided silently through space, its hull marked with the universal symbol of medical aid, a red cross inside a blue circle. In the year 2150, humanity had carved out an unusual niche in the galactic community. While other species conquered, traded, or explored, humans had become known as healers. The United Earth Medical Corps operated hundreds of hospital ships throughout known space. These floating fortresses of medicine treated patients from over 50 different species, regardless of political affiliations or ongoing conflicts. The *Mercy* was the newest and largest of these vessels, equipped with medical technology that seemed miraculous even to advanced alien civilizations. Dr. Miller, the Praxian patient in Bay 4, is responding well to treatment, said Nurse Olivia Ross as she approached. Her blue uniform was crisp, and her blonde hair was pulled back in a practical bun. Their vitals are stabilizing. Samantha smiled, brushing a strand of dark hair from her face. That's excellent news. Their respiratory system is so different from anything we've treated before. Good work, Olivia. The ship's intercom crackled. Dr. Miller to the command center. Please. Priority message incoming. When Samantha arrived at the command center, she found medical technician Jason Grant already there. His broad shoulders and disciplined posture hinted at his military past. Before joining the medical corps, he had served in Earth's defense forces. Now he used those skills to protect the healers. What's the situation? Samantha asked, noting the concern on Jason's face. Distress call from Velara II, he replied, pointing to the star chart. It's a Praxian mining colony. They're reporting a fast-spreading disease, over 300 cases already, and they have minimal medical facilities. Dr. Alan Kent joined them, rubbing his tired eyes. The trauma specialist had just finished a 12-hour surgery on an Arcturian diplomat. Velara II is on the border of Praxian space, he noted with a frown. The Empire hasn't been friendly lately. Samantha sighed. The Vraxian Empire was the most militaristic power in the sector. Tall, scaled humanoids with a strict honor code and expansionist ambitions, they viewed most other species as inferior. Diplomatic relations had grown tense in recent months, with Vraxian officials claiming that human medical aid was disrupting the natural order by helping their enemies. It doesn't matter, Samantha decided. The Praxians need our help, and medical ships have always been considered neutral. Even the Vraxians respect that. Jason didn't look convinced. The treaty says we need to notify them when entering their border regions. Then send the notification, Samantha ordered. Tell them exactly why we're going. We have nothing to hide. Within hours, the *Mercy* changed course for Velara II. The massive engines hummed as the ship entered faster-than-light travel, its medical bays prepared for new patients. Olivia worked alongside Dr. Miller, readying supplies specifically designed for Praxian physiology. Do you think it could be engineered? She asked quietly. This disease hitting right at the border of Praxian space seems convenient. Let's not jump to conclusions, Samantha cautioned, though the thought had crossed her mind. Our job is to heal, not to speculate on politics. As they approached Velara II, Dr. Kent joined them on the bridge. The planet grew larger on the view screen, a dusty, copper-colored world with thin white clouds. Somewhere on its surface, hundreds of Praxians were suffering. Coming out of FTL in 3, 2, 1, announced the pilot. The starfield normalized as the *Mercy* dropped back to normal space. Samantha expected to see the mining colony below, perhaps some small Praxian vessels in orbit. Instead, 3 massive warships appeared directly in their path. Their hulls were dark gray with jagged red markings, unmistakably Vraxian. Military vessels that had been waiting with their cloaking systems active. This isn't right, Jason said, his old military instincts flaring. Those are Scythe-class destroyers. Before anyone could respond, a harsh voice came through the communication system. "Human vessel, you have violated sovereign Braxian space." "That's not true," Samantha protested. "We filed proper notification. We're responding to a medical emergency." "A fabrication," the Vraxian commander interrupted. "There is no outbreak. You humans have extended your reach too far for too long. The Vraxian Empire will no longer tolerate your interference." The lead warship's weapon ports began to glow with building energy. "Shields!" Jason shouted, but it was too late. The Mercy Asterisk, like all medical vessels, had no meaningful defenses. The first blast hit them directly amidships. The bridge erupted in flames and chaos. The last thing Dr. Samantha Miller saw was her crew, her family, screaming as the viewport shattered. The healers of humanity had become the first casualties of war. The destruction of the Mercy Asterisk was only the beginning. Within 24 hours, reports flooded in from across known space. Earth's hospital ships were under attack. The Comfort Asterisk, the Hope Asterisk, the Sanctuary Asterisk. One by one, they fell to Vraxian weapons or were captured by boarding parties. On Earth, in the sprawling United Medical Corps headquarters in Geneva, the mood was one of shocked disbelief. Paul Weber, director of Galactic Medical Operations, stared at the wall of emergency transmissions with hollow eyes. 15 years of his life had been dedicated to building Earth's reputation as neutral healers. Now it was collapsing in a single coordinated assault. "Confirmed destruction of the Solace near Rigel," reported a communications officer, her voice breaking. "No survivors detected. The Guardian managed to launch escape pods before they were boarded," said another. "We're tracking life signs, but the Vraxians are pursuing them." Paul's assistant, Kate Martins, rushed into the room. Her face was pale, her tablet clutched tightly in trembling hands. "Sir, the Vraxian Emperor is broadcasting across all frequencies." The main screen flickered, and the scaled face of Emperor Kazim appeared. 7 feet tall with gray-green scales and yellow eyes, he wore an elaborate military uniform covered in medals and rank insignia. Behind him, a captured Earth medical ship was visible, its white hull now marked with Vraxian symbols. "People of the galaxy," the Emperor began, his voice deep and confident. "Today, the Vraxian Empire has taken necessary action to correct a dangerous imbalance in galactic affairs. For too long, humans have extended their influence under the guise of healing. They prolong wars by saving those who should fall. They gain biological knowledge of all species, a power no single civilization should possess." The Emperor's eyes narrowed. "Their so-called neutrality is a lie. By choosing who lives and who dies, they play God. No more. We have seized their medical technology and their knowledge. The Empire will now control this power, using it for proper order and stability." The broadcast ended abruptly, leaving stunned silence in the command center. 15,000, Kate whispered. "That's our current estimated casualty count. 15,000 medical personnel dead." Paul couldn't process the number. Doctors, nurses, researchers, support staff, people who had dedicated their lives to saving others, regardless of species or politics. "Sir," said a security officer near the door, "the Defense Council is requesting your presence. Immediately." Paul looked up, confused. "The Defense Council. This is a medical crisis. We need to coordinate rescue operations for any survivors. Contact alien governments for—" "Sir," the officer interrupted, lowering his voice. "This comes directly from the highest level. Transport is waiting." 20 minutes later, Paul found himself in a heavily guarded shuttle descending into the Rocky Mountains. The facility they approached wasn't on any public maps. The shuttle landed in a concealed hangar built directly into the mountainside. Inside, Paul was escorted through multiple security checkpoints before entering a large conference room. Around a circular table sat 12 men and women. The Earth Defense Council. He recognized some faces from government news broadcasts, but others were completely unknown to him. At the head of the table sat Admiral Richard Powell. His weathered face and gray hair suggested age, but his eyes were sharp and clear. The Admiral's uniform was unlike any Paul had seen before, black with silver trim, bearing an insignia of a scythe crossed with a star. "Director Weber," said Admiral Powell with a nod. "I apologize for the unusual summons. I understand you're dealing with an unprecedented crisis." "Admiral, with all due respect, I need to get back to coordinate rescue." "There will be no rescue operations," Powell interrupted, "not through conventional channels." "What? We have people out there. Survivors in escape pods, captured personnel. And we will recover them," Powell assured him. "But not as the healers you know. It's time you learned about Earth's other face." The Admiral pressed a button, and the center of the table projected a hologram showing a fleet of ships, sleek, black vessels unlike anything in Earth's public space forces. "For a century, humanity has shown the galaxy our capacity to heal," Admiral Powell said quietly. "Now we'll show them our capacity to kill." Paul Weber stared at the holographic display of ships he had never seen before. They were unlike the white, clearly marked medical vessels he had spent his career managing. These were predatory, sleek, dark, and clearly built for war. "What am I looking at, Admiral?" Paul asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Admiral Powell walked around the table slowly. 120 years ago, when humanity first ventured beyond our solar system, we made a choice. We would present ourselves to the galactic community as healers, not conquerors. It was both a moral and strategic decision. Powell waved his hand, and the hologram shifted to show various alien species. We were newcomers in a galaxy of civilizations thousands of years older than our own. We couldn't compete militarily. At least, that's what we wanted them to believe. A woman at the far end of the table spoke up. She wore the same black uniform as Powell. "While the public face of humanity built hospital ships and medical academies, we quietly developed our military capabilities in secret." The Reaper Division. Paul's mind raced. "That's impossible. You couldn't hide something like this." "We did," Powell said simply. "Every resource that went to the medical corps was matched with hidden funding for military research. Every public shipyard building hospital vessels had a shadow facility constructing warships. We kept our weapons research, our training programs, everything off the records." The hologram changed again, showing a massive underground facility. "This base is one of 30 similar installations throughout our solar system, places where we develop technologies no alien species knows we possess." Paul shook his head in disbelief. "All this time, while we were saving lives across the galaxy, we were preparing for the day someone might take advantage of our perceived weakness," Powell finished. "That day has come." The door to the conference room slid open, and a woman in her mid-30s entered. Her black uniform bore silver rank insignia, and her brown hair was cut in a practical, short style. She moved with quiet confidence, and her eyes assessed everyone in the room with a single glance. "Director Weber," Admiral Powell said, "meet Captain Laura Winters, commander of the stealth destroyer Harbinger *. Winters nodded briefly to Paul but addressed the Admiral. "My crew is ready, sir. The ship can deploy within 6 hours." "Good," Powell replied. "You'll be the first to move. The rest of the fleet will follow in staged deployment." Paul felt lost. The first to do what, exactly? Winters turned to him, her expression calm but determined. "The Vraxians have captured 3 of your hospital ships intact. The Benevolence the Guardian and the Compassion *. They're holding survivors at a research station designated Col d'Urva. They're extracting medical technology and experimenting on the captives." Paul felt sick. "How do you know this?" Powell tapped his tablet, and the main screen showed surveillance footage from inside what appeared to be a Vraxian facility. "We've had stealth drones watching key Vraxian installations for years. They don't know we can see inside their most secure facilities. The footage showed human medical personnel in cells. Some were being interrogated. Others were strapped to tables as Vraxian scientists examined them. Paul recognized Dr. Peter Collins, a leading xenobiologist from the Guardian *. Our first mission is rescue and recovery, Winters explained. We'll extract the surviving medical personnel and retrieve what technology we can. Then we'll destroy the facility. And after that? Paul asked. Admiral Powell's expression hardened. After that, we show the Vraxian Empire exactly what they've awakened. For generations, humanity has chosen peace. The galaxy misinterpreted that choice as weakness. The Admiral looked at each council member before continuing. Activate all Reaper Division assets. Deploy all ships, all ground teams. Authorization code, Grim Harvest. Around the table, the council members began working on tablets, sending orders. The room filled with a quiet intensity. Captain Winters turned to leave, but Paul caught her arm. These people joined the medical corps to save lives, not take them. Winters looked at him steadily, and we joined the Reapers hoping we would never be needed. She gently removed his hand. But now we are. The Vraxians shouldn't have attacked our healers. They're about to learn why. Deep beneath the surface of Mars, in a hangar that officially didn't exist, Captain Laura Winters walked the length of her ship. The Harbinger was beautiful in a deadly way. 300 meters of sleek black hull designed to absorb rather than reflect sensor scans. No markings, no lights, just smooth surfaces interrupted only by recessed weapon ports. Unlike the brightly lit hospital ships with their large crews, the Harbinger operated with just 42 personnel. Each was an expert in multiple fields, and all had trained together for years in complete secrecy. Lieutenant Ryan Barnes, her tactical officer, fell into step beside her. His dark skin contrasted with the silver trim of his uniform. All systems are green, Captain, he reported. Stealth systems at 100%. Weapons primed and ready. Laura nodded. And the teams. Lieutenant Kyle Russell has Phantom Squad prepared for infiltration. They've studied the layout of Col Derva Station from our drone surveillance. Danielle Foster has finished the final checks on our new weapon systems. They've never been field tested against Vraxian shields, but simulations show they'll cut through like paper. They entered the bridge, where the rest of her command crew waited. The space was compact compared to commercial vessels, with stations arranged in a semicircle around her captain's chair. The lighting was dim, optimized for viewing the multiple holographic displays that hovered in the air. Eric Mason looked up from his engineering station. His fingers never stopped moving across his controls as he spoke. Ghost Drive is online, Captain. We can maintain full stealth even at 90% light speed. They won't see us coming. Laura settled into her chair and activated the main view screen. Nickel, show me Col Derva Station again. Nickel Payne, their AI specialist, brought up a detailed hologram of the Vraxian research facility. It was a circular station with 4 extending arms, rotating slowly in orbit around a barren moon. I've identified their blind spots, she said, highlighting sections of the station. Their sensor grid has 3 gaps where our shuttle can approach undetected. I've also mapped their internal security systems. I can disable them section by section as the Phantom Squad moves through. Laura studied the station. Somewhere inside were human medical personnel, people being tortured for their knowledge and skills. Her jaw tightened. All hands, prepare for departure, she ordered. The ship hummed as systems engaged. Unlike the rumbling engines of public spacecraft, the Harbinger's propulsion was nearly silent, another aspect of its stealth design. The massive doors above the underground hangar slid open, revealing the red Martian sky. With barely a whisper, the Harbinger rose into the thin atmosphere and accelerated upward. Within minutes, they had left Mars orbit. No traffic control detected them. No civilian ships registered their passage. They were a ghost, exactly as designed. In her ready room, Laura reviewed the personnel files of the captured medical staff. Dr. Peter Collins was her primary target. His knowledge of xenobiology made him especially valuable to both sides. A knock at her door interrupted her thoughts. Lieutenant Kyle Russell entered, already dressed in his infiltration gear. The black bodysuit was made of a material that adapted to its surroundings, capable of limited camouflage. The only weapon visible was a small pistol on his hip, but Laura knew the suit itself contained multiple hidden tools and weapons. "My team is ready, Captain," he said quietly. Russell was a man of few words, preferring action to speech. His record in training exercises was perfect. No failures, no casualties. "This isn't a training exercise, Kyle," Laura reminded him. "These are real enemies with real weapons." A slight smile crossed his face. "With respect, Captain, we've been ready for this our entire careers. The Vraxians think they know what humans are capable of. They're wrong." Laura nodded. "Extraction is the priority. Get our people out. Then we show the Vraxians what happens when you mistake compassion for weakness." The Harbinger accelerated to FTL speed, its advanced drive leaving no trace in normal space. Unlike the predictable routes of commercial ships, it cut through rarely used sectors, making detection nearly impossible. In her chair on the bridge, Laura watched the stars streak by. The Reaper Division had waited generations for this moment. Hidden, patient, preparing. Now the waiting was over. "Time to target," she asked. 6 hours, 14 minutes, Ryan replied. Laura nodded. "Send word to all crew. Rest while you can. When we arrive, we show no mercy to those who attacked our healers." The Harbinger dropped out of FTL travel silently, appearing in the shadow of a small moon. Ahead, the Kol Derva research station rotated slowly against the backdrop of stars. Lights glowed along its 4 extending arms, and Vraxian patrol ships moved in regular patterns around it. On the bridge, Captain Winters watched the enemy station with cold eyes. "Status report. No indication they've detected us," Ryan Barnes confirmed. "Their patrol routes are predictable. We can time our approach between them." Laura nodded. "Nicole, connect me to Phantom Squad." The communication system activated, showing Lieutenant Kyle Russell and his 5-person infiltration team in the shuttle bay. They were checking their equipment one final time. "You have a 60-minute window," Laura told them. "Get in, locate the prisoners, and get out. Nicole will guide you through their systems remotely." Kyle nodded. "And if we encounter resistance, use your judgment. But remember, stealth is our advantage. Once they know we exist, the whole galaxy changes." The small infiltration shuttle detached from the Harbinger with barely a whisper. Like its parent ship, it was designed for complete stealth. It slipped between the patrol routes and approached the station from beneath, where the sensor coverage was weakest. Nicole's voice guided the pilot. "Maintenance hatch coming up on your port side. Their automated systems will register you as a scheduled repair drone." The shuttle locked onto the hatch, and Kyle's team moved swiftly into the station. The interior corridors were stark and utilitarian. Gray metal walls with red lighting that cast long shadows. The team activated their suits' adaptive camouflage, becoming near invisible in the dim light. Kyle consulted the station map projected inside his helmet. "Cell blocks are 2 levels down." "Nicole, what's the guard situation?" 4 guards at the main entrance," Nicole replied through their secure channel. "But there's a maintenance tunnel that bypasses it, taking the left corridor ahead." The team moved like ghosts through the station. Twice they froze as Vraxian personnel walked past, but their camouflage held. The aliens, tall and scaled with their characteristic military bearing, never noticed the human infiltrators. In the security center, Nicole remotely accessed their systems through a backdoor she had created. Camera feeds began to loop, showing empty corridors while Phantom Squad passed through. Door locks disengaged silently before the team reached them. They reached the cell block and found what they feared. 23 human medical personnel were held in small, transparent cells. Many showed signs of interrogation, bruises, cuts, and worse. Dr. Peter Collins was in an isolation cell at the far end, his normally robust frame now thin and weak. Kyle approached the control panel and placed a small device against it. The cell doors slid open silently. "We're humans," he whispered to the shocked prisoners. "We're here to get you out." One of the medical staff, a woman with short gray hair, stared in confusion. "Earth sent soldiers. We didn't know Earth had soldiers." "There's a lot the galaxy doesn't know about us," Kyle replied, helping Dr. Collins to his feet. "Can you walk, Doctor?" Collins nodded weakly. "They've been questioning me about our medical database encryption, trying to access everything we know." His eyes sharpened. "But they're planning something bigger. I overheard them. This attack on our medical ships is just the first step. They're preparing for a massive invasion of multiple systems." Kyle's team distributed small devices to each rescued prisoner, personal camouflage units. "Stay close and stay quiet," he instructed. They began to retrace their path, moving more slowly with the weakened prisoners. They were halfway to the extraction point when alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. "Nicole, what happened?" Kyle demanded. "It wasn't me," she replied, her voice tense. A scheduled security patrol entered the cell block early. Captain Winter's voice cut in. "Phantom Squad, abort stealth protocols. Switch to direct extraction. Danielle, prepare to fire on my command." Kyle looked at the frightened medical personnel. "Change of plans. Run now, hide later." The team produced weapons from hidden compartments in their suits. The small, sleek guns were unlike anything the medical staff had seen before. "What are those?" one of them asked. A rare smile crossed Kyle's face. "Something the Vraxians don't know we have." As Vraxian security forces rounded the corner ahead, Kyle fired. A pulse of blue energy erupted from his weapon, and the entire Vraxian squad collapsed instantly. The stealth mission had failed. Now it was time for humanity to reveal its other face. In orbit, Captain Winters gave the order. "Disengage stealth systems. Power weapons. Let them see us now." The Harbinger seemed to materialize out of nowhere, its black hull suddenly visible to Vraxian sensors. The station's commander had just enough time to realize a completely unknown ship was sitting right outside his command window before the first shots were fired. The Harbinger's first volleyed, tore through the Vraxian station's outer defenses like they were made of paper. Captain Winters watched calmly as the enemy's shield generators exploded in silent bursts of fire and debris. "Target their communications array next," she ordered. "Don't let them call for help." Ryan Barnes adjusted the targeting systems, firing now. Another burst of energy shot from the Harbinger and struck the tall communications tower on the station's central hub. It collapsed in a shower of sparks. Inside the station, Kyle's team fought their way toward the hangar bay. The medical personnel struggled to keep pace, weakened from their captivity. Dr. Collins stumbled, and Kyle caught him before he fell. "Almost there," Kyle encouraged. "Just a little further." Vraxian security forces appeared at both ends of the corridor, their scaled faces showing a mix of anger and confusion. They had never encountered humans who fought back with such effective weapons. "Cover left," Kyle shouted to his team. 2 Phantom Squad members turned and fired, their energy weapons dropping the Vraxians instantly. "What are those weapons?" Dr. Collins asked between labored breaths. "Neural disruptors," Kyle explained as they moved forward, "designed specifically for Vraxian physiology. Their nervous systems are different from ours. These weapons exploit that difference." They reached the hangar bay to find chaos. Vraxian pilots were rushing to their ships as alarms blared throughout the station. Kyle led the group toward their stealth shuttle, still docked where they had left it. "Nicole," Kyle called over the comm system. "We need a distraction." On the Harbinger Nicole smiled as her fingers danced across her console. "One distraction," coming up. She accessed the station's internal systems and overrode their safety protocols. Throughout the hangar, equipment began to malfunction. Loading cranes moved on their own. Fuel lines disconnected. Emergency doors opened and closed randomly. The confusion gave Kyle's team the moments they needed to get the rescued medical personnel aboard the shuttle. As the last one entered, Kyle turned to face 3 Vraxian officers who had spotted them. The aliens raised their weapons, but Kyle was faster. 3 quick shots, and they collapsed. "Everyone's aboard," Kyle reported to Captain Winters. "Preparing for departure." "Negative," Laura replied. "We've detected a data core in the station's central research lab. It likely contains the information they stole from our medical ships. We need it." Kyle checked his team. They were tired but ready. "We'll get it." "I'm coming with you," Dr. Collins said, standing with effort. "I know what they took. I can identify the core quickly." Kyle hesitated, then nodded. "Stay behind us." While the rest of the medical personnel remained in the shuttle under guard, Kyle led a small team with Dr. Collins back into the station. The Harbinger continued to fire precision shots, disabling the station's defenses without destroying it completely. They fought their way to the central lab. Inside, they found what the Vraxians had been after: the complete medical database from Earth's hospital ships. Years of research, treatment protocols for dozens of species, and detailed biological information that could be weaponized in the wrong hands. There, Dr. Collins pointed to a black crystalline structure. "That's our primary database core. They've already copied some of it, but the most sensitive data requires authentication they couldn't break." Kyle carefully removed the core and secured it in a protected case. "Anything else we need?" Collins looked around the lab with disgust. "They have tissue samples, biological materials from the medical staff. His voice trailed off. "We should destroy it all." "With pleasure," Kyle said. His team placed small explosive charges throughout the lab, set to detonate once they were clear. As they headed back toward the shuttle, Laura's voice came through their comms again. "We're detecting multiple Vraxian warships entering the system. Time to go." The shuttle detached from the station just as the first explosions began to rock the interior. Kyle watched through the viewscreen as fires spread throughout the facility. The shuttle docked with the Harbinger, and within moments, the black ship vanished from Vraxian sensors, engaging its ghost drive and disappearing into the darkness of space. In the medical bay, Dr. Collins looked at his rescued colleagues. "Who are you people? Earth has no military. Everyone knows that." Captain Winters entered the room, her uniform crisp and her expression stern. "Earth has chosen peace for generations, Doctor. That didn't mean we weren't prepared for war." She looked at the rescued medical staff. "The Vraxians attacked our healers. Now they face our reapers." In the distance behind them, the Kol Derva station exploded in a massive fireball. It was only the beginning. News of the Kol Derva station's destruction spread quickly through Vraxian space. No one knew what had happened, only that a previously unknown ship had appeared from nowhere, rescued human prisoners, and vanished again. But this was just the beginning. Within 48 hours, reports flooded in from across the Empire. A Vraxian shipyard at Corvin Prime, destroyed. Their military academy on Vraxia, its defenses disabled, and its weapons labs raided. Supply depots, command centers, and communication hubs, all struck with surgical precision by ships that seemed to materialize from empty space. In the Imperial Palace on Imperium, the Vraxian homeworld, Emperor Kazim paced furiously. His generals and advisors stood in fearful silence. "How is this possible?" the Emperor demanded. "Humans have no warships, no weapons. They are healers, not warriors." The door to the war room burst open, and a security officer rushed in. "Your Majesty, our orbital defense platform has detected something approaching." On the main screen, a massive ship appeared in orbit above Imperium. Unlike the hospital ships the Vraxians had so easily destroyed, This vessel was clearly built for war. Its black hull absorbed light rather than reflecting it, making it seem like a hole in space itself. It was 5 times larger than the Harbinger asterisk, with weapon ports glowing with restrained energy along its length. A communication request came through, and the Emperor nodded for it to be accepted. Admiral Richard Powell's face appeared on screen. "Emperor Kazim," Powell said calmly. "I am Admiral Richard Powell of Earth's Reaper Division. You have attacked our medical vessels, killed our healers, and stolen our technology. Now you will face judgment." The Emperor snarled. "You humans deceived the galaxy, pretended to be peaceful while building war machines in secret." "No," Powell corrected. "We chose peace. Every day for over a century, humanity chose to heal rather than harm. That was not deception. It was hope that the galaxy could be better. You mistook our compassion for weakness, a fatal error." The flagship, named Grim Harvest *, remained in orbit as smaller vessels deployed from its hangar. On the bridge, Admiral Powell watched as Captain Winters led the Harbinger * toward the palace itself. Inside the palace, Emperor Kazim ordered his forces to prepare for ground combat. Kill any humans who try to land. Protect the throne at all costs. But the humans didn't land. Instead, carefully placed charges detonated throughout the palace defense grid, disabled by infiltrators who had been in place for days. Security systems failed. Doors locked or unlocked at random. By the time Captain Winters and Lieutenant Kyle Russell walked into the throne room, most of the guards had already been neutralized by weapons they never saw coming. Emperor Kazim stood alone, his ceremonial sword drawn. "I will not surrender my empire to humans." Laura approached him calmly. "We don't want your empire. We never did." She pulled out a small device and projected images of the destroyed medical ships. "You killed 15,000 healers. People who helped everyone, including Vraxians. They saved lives without asking which side they were on." Kyle stepped forward with Dr. Collins beside him. The doctor looked at the Emperor with sad eyes. "I treated your son 2 years ago," Collins said quietly, "when he contracted Rigelian fever while visiting the outer colonies. Did you forget that?" The Emperor's sword lowered slightly. "That was you. One of hundreds of thousands of human doctors who have treated Vraxians over the years." Collins nodded. "We never asked for anything in return except the chance to help more people." Admiral Powell's voice came through the communication system. "Emperor Kazim, you have a choice. Surrender now, return all stolen medical technology, and face trial for crimes against humanity. Or we will show your empire what the Reapers can truly do." The Emperor looked at the human weapons aimed at him, then at the massive ships in orbit. Slowly, he placed his sword on the ground. 3 days later, the galaxy watched as Vraxian ships returned the stolen hospital vessels. The Emperor publicly apologized for the attacks and agreed to reparations. As the crisis ended, Admiral Powell met with Earth's leadership. "The galaxy now knows we have teeth," he said. "The question is, do we return to being only healers, or do we show both faces?" Dr. Collins, now recovered from his ordeal, stepped forward. "We continue healing," he said firmly. "But now everyone knows. Attack Earth's healers, and you summon the Reapers of Death." The Reaper Division ships returned to their hidden bases, ready if needed again. And across the galaxy, would-be aggressors looked at Earth with new respect and fear.